Yo guys, how's it going? And welcome back to a UFC predictions video. This weekend we have the final card of the year, 256. I'm joined like always with Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Dude, thank you so much for joining us. Ryan and I were talking before you started this recording. This card's actually really sick when we looked at it.
Yeah, at first, like I was telling you earlier, we did lose a couple title fights. We lost some names. But going back at it, fight to fight, this is going to be a real true UFC fans' dream, I think. We have a lot of good matchups ahead of us.
I couldn't agree more. So I want to start with JDS versus Cyril Gane and get kind of your thought. I have my idea of what I think how this fight's going to turn out, but I kind of want to hear from you first.
Sure. I do think this is very interesting. Got a bigger name to kick off the card, which I think is pretty important. Though I do think Dos Santos is going to be a good draw for fans. I think Gane is going to take this, and I don't think it will be extremely difficult for him.
Okay.
I feel that Santos is kind of on the back end, obviously.
Yeah.
The tank isn't what it used to be. The chin isn't what it used to be. Gane is, the momentum is just on the complete opposite side. He's just a younger, faster, stronger version, I would say, at this point in time. He's a very big lad. He's got a long reach, very powerful hands. And not to mention, Junior's lost 4 of his last fights via TKO or KO. So I just don't see it going very well for Dos Santos.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm excited because, you know, Gane's going to get a step up in competition with JDS. It also kind of seems like JDS is turning into the guy that they're throwing at like the young contenders, the contenders to kind of get an idea of where they're at. I'm with you. I think Gane's going to stop him maybe second or third round. Next up, we have middleweight. We have Souza versus Kevin Holland. Holland had COVID, so he had to pull out of his fight, but they're slotting him now versus Souza. Thought process here, Ryan?
Honestly, don't want to sound like a broken record, but I do feel like this is going to be similar to the first fight.
Yeah.
With Souza kind of being on the back end.
Isn't Souza 40?
He's an old guy.
Yeah.
He's an older guy. The chin is nothing what it used to be. It used to be an absolute warrior. Again, anybody who steps into that octagon is a warrior. Just being relative here. I just think Holland is on the ups. Same type of thing. Younger, quicker. His striking, I think, is what's really going to overpower Souza here. He's just going to, I don't think Souza's going to be quick enough to handle the barrage that Holland should be throwing at him.
I think it's really interesting that Souza's last fight was versus Jan Blachowicz, who is now going to be fighting for, you know, against Izzy, hopefully in a few months. But I'm with you on that one. I think Kevin Holland, I think this is going to be his, if he can win this, his 5th win, or is it 4th win of this year? That, which is so unbelievably impressive. Anyone that can step in the octagon that many times in one calendar year, hats off to you. Next up, of course, we have the lightweight co-main event, Tony Ferguson against Charles Oliveira. This is just a phenomenal fight. Like you said, a fighter's fight. This is going to be so much fun. Who do you have taking this?
All right, so this is hands down my favorite fight of the entire night.
I'm with you.
I do see it. I mentioned this earlier before the video. I am sensing a little bit of changing of the guard with UFC as far as like the older, bigger. I say older. Not that Tony is incredibly old, but he's been in the game for a very, very long time. I feel like there is going to be a little changing of the guards, meaning Charles on an 8-fight win streak is fighting out of his mind, striking, submissions, the clinch, you name it. This dude is on fire. Tony went through an absolute battle with Dustin Poirier. I don't know how he's going to bounce back from that. Typically, an older body doesn't necessarily come back stronger. Having said that, Tony is an absolute animal, so if anybody can, it would be Tony. Long story short, I'm going with Charles Oliveira for the upset against Tony Ferguson.
Dude, this
submission.
This fight should be 5 rounds. Like, I feel like we deserve 5 rounds for this fight.
Absolutely would not be surprised if it went the whole way. Both these guys are absolute dogs.
I just, like you said, how is Tony Ferguson going to look after that war that he had against Gaethje? Where, you know,
yes.
Oh no, yes. And where's Charles Oliveira at in terms of, you know, he's, like you said, he's got a good win streak going. But I think the real story here is all the pressure's on Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson needs to win this fight to stay. You know, there's so many people that are trying to break through. at the lightweight division, get their chance. Tony Ferguson needs to win this fight. I am so excited. I don't know if you saw this, but Ferguson said if Oliveira shows up overweight at weigh-ins that he might call off the fight. So pray to God that that does not happen. And Absolutely. We get to see Tony Ferguson versus Charles Oliveira. And then finally, good.
I truly think that we're looking at the future champ in Charles Oliveira.
Really? Okay, high accolades from Ryan there. And then, of course, the historic flyweight main event, a 21-day turnaround. Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. This is remarkable. I cannot 21, but not just Figueiredo, but let's give some love to Moreno as well. Both guys, you know, turning around that quickly. Hats off to both of them.
Absolutely. 21 days. That is absolutely
insane. Are you kidding me?
These guys are modern day gladiators, and he's coming back in less than a month. That is absolutely unheard of. What does that tell me? That tells me that he took 0 damage in the fight prior.
Yeah.
And sadly, as much as I love Moreno, he's got a great story. He takes his Mexican heritage very seriously. He wants to be kind of that pioneer from the Mexican boxing to the Mexican MMA. He really wants to push that and really wants to be the figurehead for that. That being said, I just don't know what he does better than Davidson here. I don't know how they're going to be able to put fights for Figueiredo. I just see him continuously pounding these guys in the flyweight. I don't know how you feel.
No, I'm with you, man. I think Figueiredo's got every making of like what a UFC fan loves. You know, he's willing to go for the finish. He's got a great ground game. He's got one-punch power. He's really, you know, I would say, I know you'd probably agree with this, or let me know what you think. I think Cejudo saved the flyweights, but Figueiredo has done his part to kind of resurrect with him gone, because at the beginning of the year, I mean, you remember Figueiredo missed weight, you know, at his championship fight, and the fact that we're now December 12th and he's main eventing his second fight or his second pay-per-view in a row is just unbelievable. But this guy is an absolute animal. I think he said today on Ariel Helwani's show that on fight day he weighs like around 143 pounds. Just ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So I see either like a submission or a finish for Figueiredo, even though I've been watching Embedded and they keep showing Brandon Moreno, and he seems like such a good guy and his family and all that.
What a guy.
He seems like such a great guy. But again, like we said, you know, hats off to both these guys. What an incredible feature to be able to turn around that quickly. But is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I definitely agree with you. You made a great point with Figueiredo kind of saving the flyweight. Because before Figueiredo was Cejudo, before Cejudo was Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
And really, other than those three, you could really give those three credit for keeping the flyweight division around.
Yeah.
I know that there was talk about just doing away with it completely. But I do think it has a place here in MMA, and I do think it will be more competitive in the future.
The other thing about it, Ryan, is we got to see Figueiredo. Figueiredo's got to keep winning so we can see that Cody Garbrandt fight. We need that.
I need that one for Figueiredo. I need a Cejudo return for Figueiredo.
Oh my gosh.
I think that is what we need to see to really get excited about that division.
I totally agree. But anyways, guys, please make sure you do check out Ryan. He will be linked down below. Make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do drop a subscription. Let us know down below your predictions. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.